Y'all, welcome to Wow. This is your favorite founder, your fearless founder, Cheryl Banks, coming to you live from my garden in my office. I'm so excited for Wow, Women of Worth, Women of Wisdom. Our featured guest today is Yaminah Mason. I cannot wait for you to meet her. She is a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I got to tell you how we met. Well, first, let me just tell you a little bit about Yaminah. She's going to be sharing a lesson in confidence. Please feel free to ask questions or put comments in the comments section. But Yaminah is a proud wife and mother of 6 children. They start at age 5, and I believe she told me they went till, I can't remember, she said 18. I think she said 22, 5 to 22. Oh my gosh. She's a mental health and life coach, a pageant queen, and a Mary Kay consultant, and most importantly, a child of God. The way that I met Yaminah was just so interesting. We were at a conference, a Mary Kay conference. She thinks it was a year ago, this time last year. Me and my consultant Cynthia, we were there, and Yaminah was sitting directly behind us, and she was quiet and she was by herself throughout the whole conference, that whole day, that whole morning. And Cynthia and I were going to go to lunch. So I invited her because we had been like just chatting because she was by herself. So I invited her to lunch, and the rest is history. We've been together since then. I just loved her spirit. She just had such a good story. It was a story of pain, redemption, just a bunch of stuff. She has a lot going on in her short life. When you see her, she looks 22. So you're going to be like, how does she have a 22-year-old? I don't know. I think it's the Mary Kay products. And she has good genes. So I'm going to bring her up. The beautiful, the amazing Yaminah Mason. Yes. Hi, Yaminah. You're muted. Let's unmute you. Unmute yourself, girlfriend. She's like, how am I muted? I don't know how you got muted. There you go. Say hello.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
So excited. Hey, Alice Richardson, I see you, and Sharon is watching with you. Awesome. So if you guys have questions as we chat, please put them out there. So Yaminah, I've been looking forward to this for like 3-4 weeks. Just what you had to share, because I remember the first time we met, we shared a lot. We shared a whole lot over lunch. First time meeting was impactful. Now you're stuck with me for life. Okay? Look at you. So we're going to start by just asking you, just tell us a little bit about you, how you got to be who you are at this time.
And that, Jesus. Well, I am here. I currently live here in Houston, Texas. I was born in Florida, raised in Michigan. So that's where I call home.
Michigan. Okay.
Michigan, yes. And then been here in Houston since 2014, Memorial Day. So anniversary is coming up again. And let's see what else about me. Mom of 6, as you mentioned before, 5 to age 22, because Jesus, said I needed a miracle. So I got one. That's my last child's name.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And I currently work as an MHPS at the Harris Center, so mental health. And Mary Kay. And you said you're right. I still get complimented. 22 is a good number.
Yeah.
But yep, I've been, 22 is close. I've been using Mary Kay for almost that long. So almost 19 years.
Well, awesome. Well, the ladies that you're talking to today, they're all sorts of ages and races and just a whole, rainbow of people. So as you talk, because I know you're going to share a lesson in confidence, I want to know just who you are. Who is Yaminah? And what do you have to share with the ladies today that you wish you had known, let's say even 10 years ago or 20 years ago? What kind of impact? What do you want to share? Because I know that you're a deep person. I already know that. I've been talking to you. You've been through some things. So just share with us some things that you'd want us to know.
Let's see, 10 years ago. So if I was talking to me, um, I'd tell myself to, excuse me, to trust God more. Not for those of you that are not believers, I'm not pushing my beliefs on you, but just for myself and where I am right now, because my relationship with God has gotten, boy, it's amazing. And you learn that he's a comedian. I'm just saying that's the relationship we got, because the lemonade out there, he makes it. He created the trees. So, but like for me, 10 years ago, that's why I'd say trust God more, because there's times where you think that you're not going to make it, and it was because of him that I did. So I would, I would tell myself to hold on more, or listen, because you don't know everything.
Right.
We got so much confidence when we're young, think we know everything. And when I was 15, I sure thought I did.
Did you? I always say you don't have to make all the mistakes. You really can learn from other people's mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And if you trust God and you know his word, if you get in the word, so it gets into you, then when you need it, it's already there. I talk about like boxing match. You don't go not in shape. The fight is won before the ring, practice and all of these things. So as far as a lesson in confidence, talk to us about that.
That goes to being a pageant queen. The end game. So when I say, now I can laugh about it, but personal, that let me just say, and this is what I would share with like any group of mine, is that let me tell you that suicide is a real thing. And the awareness month is September. There's also a walk coming up. I just got invited to, but just to put that information out there, because awareness is important. And when I say it's a real thing, I'm so confident that guess what? If you're still here for a reason, God's going to make sure that that happens. Because there's at a point in my time when I wasn't trying to be here. So that confidence that I had so arrogantly when I was younger, if you knew my best friend Jean in high school, she'd tell you. I had all the confidence. I was mean, people. I was. But besides the point, I had so much confidence back then because I had to be tough, because first Black to graduate from the school. And then like my niece is the second. So, and I graduated in 2002. So all the confidence in the world, but not the right confidence. So like that's the lesson. Like you can do it your own way. And then doing it my own way, like I said, there's a point where man will fail you every time. And you really have to, well, for me, and like again I said, trust God on that. So like my lesson was that I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for him. And that's just stepping out. When I the day that I thought I wasn't going to be here no more, later that night I ended up just sitting, and I said, Lord, if there's what am I supposed to do? If there's something I'm supposed to do, then okay, I'm gonna trust you. And I stepped out on faith, and then guess what? I ended up back in Texas. Life fell apart. So yeah, that's a lesson. When you trust God, for those of you that are new believers, let me just tell you, it's not rainbows and unicorns, y'all. It is not. Like that's a lesson by itself, because the enemy, he'll try to distract you and destroy you no matter what. So when you really decide to step out in faith and like have confidence, because you're going to believe God with everything that you got, because we're supposed to, that's what his word says, like things will happen. And like I said, when you get living in the world, and my life.
A lot of people think that when you become a believer, that it's going to be rainbows and sunshine. That's all it's going to be. And they wonder, like non-believers, they think if there's a God, why is there so much bad stuff going on, you know? And then once you do follow Christ, why do you feel, I know you know, but why do you feel that you have to go through things? That's part of it. That's part of what he told us was going to happen.
He said endurance, that, you know, he chastises those who he loves. And I'm like, God, when are we going to start getting the whooping? I know some of them myself, but baby, I don't need somebody else's whooping. Right. You know, and that's the lesson in comp. Hey, let them take their own whooping, sit down somewhere, because nobody could whoop you like the Lord. I'm just
say that for sure. So when you were on the verge of suicide,
yes,
did you try, or did he intervene before?
Okay, so I had sat for like a month, and then I had everything contemplated and took something and fell out. So I wasn't like, it was always like I was out of there. I knew I was going down. I was out of there. So I when I said I tried, like I was willing.
Yeah.
You know, but he intervened, because I do know, I actually wrote about this experience once, that it's called my 1,200 words. But when I was out, like I was unconscious, that I felt like I was there and intervened. Like I didn't want to come back. Like I seen when people say they see yourself like laying there, I did. Like I didn't want to come home. I'm not undefeated. I can say that wholehearted, honestly. I didn't want to come back.
Right.
No, so he intervened, because what got wind in here. What he said was to me, like, all I heard was train up a child in which way they should go. So like he intervened, and I just like, I was crying because I wanted to stay, but I was crying because, you know, because of that. So he intervened because I got 6 kids.
Yeah.
You know, and people think about that like it is selfish to a point, because guess what? Whether a child is there or not, and I'm learning that, I'm so thankful, but every child is a gift. You know? So he intervened. I have 6 of them.
Yeah.
So he intervened because I'm here. I got 6 kids.
And I'm so glad you're here. First of all, you're a beautiful person. When I say beauty, I'm not talking physical. I'm talking just a beautiful child of God doing the best you can. that's how I describe I'm a child of God just doing the best I can.
And I always say recovery is possible, y'all. I am in recovery. I am not ashamed to do that. And guess what? I'm recovery with the Lord, because that's recovery in itself. And guess what? It's possible. Yeah. So I'm not ashamed. Yep, mistake right here. Sit by me.
Right. Hey, Sherry Fennell's good to see you here. So yeah, if you're here, say hi and let us know where you're calling from. Okay, so my son,
yes,
stopped his best friend from kindergarten from committing suicide. And when I tell you, this is a bright child. He's a bright child. But what he saw in his head, his life should be, was not how it turned out. So he grieved a life that he thought he should have, because since he was a little kid, thought everybody's filling his head with how good of an athlete he is. He's going to the league, blah, blah, blah. Then he gets to high school and he doesn't quite grow like he needs to for that, you know? And then he has a baby in high school. So that wasn't on the agenda. Also, one of my really good friends, that happened to her son, but he succeeded in suicide. He succeeded, and she never saw it coming. And what's so amazing is it's the things that we're going through that seems like so dire, the end of the world, they pass. they pass. And because you're still here, I know you know that. It's like,
One,
oh, I'm so glad that didn't, because it gets better,
one of the I'll never forget, and I always think about this too, like every time I've thought or contemplated is um, my abnormal psych teacher in college. He said, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And
Yes.
I've heard that like over the years, but I
Yeah.
remember that was the one thing that I'd, stuck to
Mm-hmm.
because, this too shall pass.
Right.
Sometimes it's a long one, but I mean, it does. And now
Yeah.
I look back, I'm glad that I'm still here.
Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't be here, here. I've had a lot of opportunities, and I just remember what God said when he said, if I stayed, he said, if I stayed. So,
Yeah. And our pain, we're to be grateful for.
oh yeah.
Because we really grow and learn through the dark times. When everything's hunky dory, we don't depend on God like when we're down and depressed and in the darkness. But He uses all of that to, who's to say? I think that's Canby, KKO. Is that Canby? She's calling me Squirrel. That has to be Canby. Hey, Barbara. How are you? Barbara Mouton, I believe. Good to see you guys. So, this is my friend Yaminah, and she is sharing her story. Now, I want to know, how is it that so we went through that. We're talking about suicide. We're talking about God said, no, this is not what I have for you. And so you're here. And now, how did you become a pageant queen? What in the world happened? What happened?
So that goes back to the confidence part. So I came back and life lifed me for a little bit in confidence. I was doing great in Florida. I could have worked at mental health, but like I chose to step out in faith when I said it wasn't rainbows and unicorns. It was not. So when I came back, I was finally starting to do things on my own, and like all the goals you push in the back, you finally got front burner and you got to enjoy yourself. So I went to a conference and pitched for the proposal with, I think, Miss Tiffany Washington, and a lady was there and she modeled. And I thought about going back into modeling, but confidence, right? So I taught to her, but so we did. She also does imaging, my imaging coach, and a lot of like all of that I give tribute to her as well, because we worked like 6 months where every week I'd had to dress up on a Wednesday and at work and have people accept the compliments. But one thing too, like for me, I've always, when you mention beautiful, like I've always been told I was pretty, and I was supposed to write a blog about this because one of our things we're working on was I'm more than just pretty. I've always been told, my dad told me, I had the best of both worlds, pretty. My sister's nickname is Pretty. So like my dad, like, built this up. So when I said younger arrogance, yeah, I was. But life will
humble you. It will yeah.
You know what I mean? And my confidence left. So going back to her dressing up, I didn't want to hear that I was pretty. Like I remember, like I got complimented and I had to accept them. So when I got on the phone, the conference, I bawled. Like I cried. I literally like broke down because I forgot like who I was, like who God made me to be. And that include the exterior. I'm fighting so hard for the interior to come out because, I've been mistreated a lot. And also this too can be misused or misconstrued. People use it all the time. So, anyway, the pageant, like she's like, well, what are you gonna do? And all my confidence came back dressing up. I now dress up all the time for work. And she's like, I said, I want to go on a pageant. It's on my bucket list. And she's like, because all the breakdowns that I had, she's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. I also did a photo shoot. I did a photo shoot for like adwear and stuff, and it was really nice for a catalog. Anyway, but I said, yeah, pageants. She said, okay. And then I couldn't believe I went. Like I was late. You get points off for that. And because I was going to turn around and I wasn't going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going to go. But then that leap of faith, and I won.
Yes, you won the whole pageant.
I won my category. So I'm the missus because I'm currently married 10 years to such a wonderful husband. He's God,
Which is a whole different story.
I just said I'm married because I'm the missus, and I was just shouting out to my wonderful,
Yeah.
handsome husband
Yeah.
that I am Mrs. Regal Elegance, Texas, 2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
that
I can tell, it's so funny because you look at people and you think they have it all together. You think that everything, look at her, she's amazing, she's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And she's a whole hot mess on the inside. I can tell that you're still working on that because when I sent you that picture that we put on the flyer, I was like, isn't it beautiful? And you were like, I'm totally amazed and shocked. And you couldn't believe it. I still, like a lot of people of abuse, they will gain weight. They will wear baggy clothes. They will hide out. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be complimented. And it's really sad, but it's really tragic. But deep things happen, bad things happen, and it makes you lose your confidence. It makes you lose your identity. You're identifying not with Christ, not with a firm foundation, but with what other people have said or done to you, or bad experiences. You start to believe what life throws at you. It's like you aren't worthy of this, and you aren't this, or you aren't that, and you aren't a good wife, or you aren't. And I'm just not saying this. I'm just saying you are, nobody's going to want you. I'm not, and you start, faith comes by hearing, good or bad faith, right? And so if you hear it enough, you start to take it on. And I always say that, like if you grow up in a house where you see two parents getting along, loving each other, being positive with their work, liking what they do, sharing with you how amazing you are. You can have anything if you're willing to work for it, blah, blah, blah. You're probably going to turn out okay. But if you grow up in a house where you're sexually abused and people are telling you're not worth it and things like that, you're probably not going to be okay. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's but by the grace of God that we are blessed. We need to know, like, you could have been in a whole different background. Because I look at the world and I think, I'm here in America. It has its problems, but it's the richest and freest country in the world. Some other people are in third world countries. They don't have a roof over their head. They don't sleep in a bed. They don't have indoor plumbing and all the things. Why did God pick that for them and him for? I do believe in that first shall be last and last shall be first stuff. So you better be thinking right towards people. Okay. Because I think that, not just honoring all creation, especially people, is going to end us in a world of hurt, especially in this day and time, So thinking right towards people, she has a 5-year-old, y'all. That's why she's giving her the eyeball and she's not getting the message. She did a look earlier to her kid and I was like, I remember that. Oh, she's trying to, life keeps lifing. But that's okay. But so as far as you said, you had a couple of scriptures. Did you want to share the scriptures that you had?
Yeah, the one I also have it tattooed on me. It's Philippians 4:13, and I've been teaching my kids this scripture ever since they could talk. It's their bedtime scripture, and that's I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So it's on my leg. So you think I would walk with confidence, right? Because that's because that's literally what my tattoo says. It's down my leg to remind myself to walk with it, which we forget because life. The second one is Psalms 30 verse 5. So even though his anger lasts for a moment, his mercy endures forever. So weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
Yes.
So those seasons, storms.
So my question for you, anybody who's going through a storm right now, maybe they're having problems in their marriage or their health or work or finances. We all go through things, and some people see it as a suicidal a worthy thing when they lose money. People, the
Yeah.
stock market, jumping out of windows, so we all are bent different ways. But let's just say you're in a season of depression, like you just can't seem to steady yourself. And that's probably part of the problem. You're trying to steady yourself. What is your best advice? Thinking about dark times that you were in, what is your best advice for somebody going through dark times?
I said, even though I'm a believer in strong and I have a relationship with God, there's times where, full of doubt. So I come out of a dark time, like last year, again, just sharing that personally. So let me just tell you that, guess what? You are not alone. Like you're not the only one, even though it feels like it and it can be heavy. You're not by yourself. And God is there if you want him to be. But for those who aren't believers yet, I'm just saying, one, you're not alone, but there's also support groups out there. And my job, when I said, when I said I'm the MHPS, that's mental health peer specialist. They also have recovery support peer specialists too, or community health workers. I'm just saying, like, there are people out there that genuinely, in my position, that's what we do. We listen. Mm-hmm. Like literally, it's called holding space. Mm-hmm. Like, reach out to somebody and ask, because I guarantee you it might not be the person that you're asking or you're seeking that is trying to listen, but I guarantee you someone out there is willing, because they have a story too and they want to hear yours, and they can't hear yours if you're not here.
I love that. And so many times we think isolation's the devil's tool.
Very much.
He has you thinking, you're embarrassed, you shouldn't have this problem. Nobody's going to understand. Like, you're going through something. He'll, like, if you tell somebody, they're going to think less of you. They're not going to want to, and you got all this stuff going on in your head, and that's not of God. So you got to put it out there to people who love you, or professionals that can help you. And sometimes we need to go to people who don't know us at all, I think. Yep. I think sometimes it's just good to go to somebody that don't know your background at all, just to get an objective input.
Correct.
Or thoughts or things like that. Another thing that I love is journaling. And some people are like, oh, I can't do that. You don't have to do it every day. But when something significant happens, or something that caused you pause or anxiety, I feel like writing it down is good, because when God answers it, or when it changes, or he changes you, you can see that he did that. So the next time you go through something, you can remember that he's faithful. He did it then, he can do it again. Me going through the cancer 3 times, and just things, life, nobody makes it out of here alive, period. So I love this little Asian lady. She gave us this BCD. B is your birthday. Everybody has a birthday. D is your date of death. Nobody makes it out of here alive. Everybody's leaving. The C in between the B and the D stands for choices. And your choices in life will determine your quality of life. And I put, not only is the C for choices, but community. Get yourself in a community that is supportive and encouraging, especially if you're going through dark times somewhere. Don't be isolated. To get a part of a group of people that are going to encourage you. So many times people are going through it, and they're going through it alone. And when they share with people who can't help them. Yeah. I don't share with people who can't help me. They're like, why didn't you tell me? For what? I tell the people I know have, like, they pray, and they're going to, I share with the different people, but people always think I don't have any problems, but that's not true. I just choose to struggle well. You have to learn to struggle well as a Christian. How are you going to struggle as a person with no hope? I struggle well because I know that God's in control, and I know my future. So speak on that for a second, and leave us with your last, like, thoughts of everything. Just whatever you want to share that might encourage somebody who's going through dark times. And how do we get a hold of you, by the way?
Oh, I'm on
or whatever.
Facebook mainly, because I mean I have Instagram as well, but I'm more on Facebook.
What's your name on Facebook?
Yaminah Mason, and also I have a pageant page on there too. Needs to be updated, but I do have that. But Yaminah Mason, as you can see, and Struggle Well, I just wanted to say good thing, because you're also in Mary Kay, that it doesn't look like it.
So. Yeah, I always say, isn't it great? Yaminah is Yaminah, right?
Yes.
I always say, thank the good Lord that he doesn't make us look like what we've been through.
I say that all the time, and I thank God for Mary Kay.
Yeah.
He gave her a secret, because if y'all knew the times I couldn't get up off the floor with my first 3 kids, the only thing I could do was wash my face, and it just happened to literally use Mary Kay. Like I was in the same clothes, but guess what? I washed my face, and that's the only thing I could do.
Yeah.
So wow. As I said, and I still do it. Like I don't leave the house without my face.
Yeah. And it's such a pretty face.
That too, but
you have a smile plastered on it. I love it, because life is hard and it never gets easier. We just have to get stronger. And that's what God allows. He allows that. He, like you say, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And it is so, so true. Let me see. Did we have any comments? ABC. I love it. It's not ABC. It's BCD. BCD. Birthday, date of death, and the C is choices and communities. And I like to say Christ.
Yeah, that's what I thought of at first.
It's like a triple threat. Your choices, like when you meet that guy, this is just an example. When you meet that guy, there's some red flag going off. It's like, yeah, he's charming, he's cute, yeah, he got this and he got that. But look how he treated the waitress, or look how he treated other people who couldn't give anything to him. Or, maybe he stood you up a time or two. Those are red flags. And so you choose to accept that or choose not to. If you accept that, you get with that, and you go through all the things that go with a no good guy. Or maybe it's not that. It's like, oh, my pastor did a sermon on fanning the vultures. I have to find it. Was it Paul? As we wait for God. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we fan the vultures. We keep them. How do you fan the vultures? If you have health problems, you try to eat better. You try to exercise. Yes, you do things that are in line with what you want while you are praying. We can pray, but at some point we're going to have to get into action, right? Like the little boy who missed his school bus, and his mom walks out, and he's standing there looking. And the mom is like, what are you doing? And he says, I'm praying. And she says, pray while you run. Catch that bus. Pray while you run. So the thing is, we pray, but we got to take action. Ask God for discernment. Hook up with people who are going to love on you and encourage you. Right. And some of us just have, what do you call it? Addictions. And our addictions can be different. It can be you're addicted to a person, you're addicted to something, shopping or whatever, something that's not serving you. And those can be really, 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 really hard to break. So you got to get into that community. So remember, it's choices, community, and Christ. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Any last thing before we go?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, going back to, because I was going to list 3 scriptures, obedience is greater than confidence. And the lesson is that you're trading your confidence for God's. That's the obedience. He says to read his word. So that's the lesson. When you trade your confidence for God's, he can do the impossible.
And you may not feel it, but just do it. Be obedient. He will come through. You may not feel like giving him time. You may not feel like you're worthy. And that's the devil too, making you think you have to be all dressed up and prettied and purified before you meet God. But he wants you just as you are.
Yes.
He is strong in our weakness. Stop thinking and just start doing what he says. The word will never fail.
Obedience is greater than sacrifice.
I love you, Yaminah Mason. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful to God that you are still here, able to share your story and make a difference in the lives of all of us. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Please share this with your friends. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and share this with your friends. I will put our BBX YouTube in the comments section right there so that you can just copy it and share it with some friends. Okay, it's right there. So share it with Yaminah, and we'll see you later. We love you. I hope to see you guys on the 18th, Saturday at 1 o'clock in person. Maybe Yaminah will come. Beauty box. She's been there before. Y'all have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Thank you.